It's mid-April, the time of year when Talbot County farmer Bobby Hutchison is camped out behind the wheel of his planter. As he works furiously to get corn seed in the ground, Bobby is under surveillance.
This is a WorldView 3 satellite image, so you can see it has a very nice resolution, kind of comparable.
Well, they're not watching Bobby himself. They're looking down at his farm fields. For the past decade, scientists have been taking images of the 3,400-acre farm using satellites orbiting about 400 miles overhead. The information they gather is helping reduce farmers' impact on the environment.
We're constantly looking for new things to improve, not only production, but the care of the land and, how it relates to the environment.
Especially important because Bobby's farm is right on Tuckahoe Creek and not far from the Chesapeake Bay. These satellite images showing crops and crop residue were snapped just a few days ago.
So what we're doing here is quickly driving along. We take a look at the field and we classify it.
Today, Dean Hively with the U.S. Geological Survey is visiting the Hutchison's farm, comparing what he sees on the ground to what he saw from the sky. It's part of research that ultimately helps Maryland farmers plant crops during the off-season. These cover crops help soak up any excess nutrient fertilizer in the soil.
We're able to analyze the performance of our cover crop program, so it allows us to then tailor policies or decisions relating to our program to more effectively manage nutrients from entering the Chesapeake Bay.
The cover crop research is just one way scientists are using satellites to study the best ways to feed the world's growing population. NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Prince George's County is the epicenter. 1 million pieces of data come through the center each day, helping scientists piece together a picture of Earth with all of its complexities.
We can tell how much water is in the soil. We can tell the height of lakes and rivers within an accuracy of centimeters. And we can also tell how much vegetation is growing and also the types of vegetation.
NASA's Dr. John Bolton uses a new satellite, known as SMAP, to measure soil moisture. Launched in January 2015, the satellite features technology that makes it easier to predict the health of crops, not just in the United States, but anywhere in the world.
One of the most important parts of agriculture is understanding how much water is available to the plants. We're able to observe how much water is falling through precipitation, but in addition to that, the SMAP, or Soil Moisture Active Passive Mission, gives you an observation of how much moisture is in the soil. And it turns out that's a key component to understanding, predicting crop forecast.
Dr. Bolton's work helps the USDA come up with its monthly crop forecast, a report that influences the rapidly fluctuating prices of global commodities like corn, wheat, and soybeans. Back at the Hutchison brothers' farm, Dean and another research partner, Greg McCarty, with the USDA's Agricultural Research Service, are calibrating their satellite data. Basically, they're spot-checking it to make sure it's accurate.
Yeah, the satellite measures through the atmosphere, so even if it's a clear day, there's some haze, interference. We try to calibrate for that.
Another way they calibrate the data, the bead and string method, is actually the way they gathered the information before the satellites.
And what we do is we look at the bead and we determine whether the bead is intersecting residue,
As you might imagine,
or whether the bead is intersecting bare soil.
gathering information this way is slow going. The satellite imagery is not only much more efficient, it's more complete.
You can look at a whole range of fields across the landscape and you begin to think of a landscape perspective.
It appears the best way to learn about the land is from the sky.